Hello, hi friend, this is Rahul. Welcome to Reliable Immigration Guide. Today we are going to talk about Saskatchewan Immigration Nominee Program. Yeah, we are going to talk about SINP. They have started a new program which is good for the skilled worker, which is in demand. So we are going to talk about the whole process and eligibility criteria, education that we need, and which are the occupation are in demand. And it's pretty easy to apply SINP, and then through the SINP you can apply for the PR. So we will start the procedure. SINP program, this is a subcategory is for skilled worker who do not have a job offer in Saskatchewan, but they are highly skilled in demand occupation, and those who meet the criteria, they can apply right away. And if you apply it later on or something and the criteria changes, that's already everything in their hand. So it's their decision if they want to take it or not. But as soon as you get the opportunity, or if you are eligible to do that, you can right away apply for the SINP. Now we will talk about eligibility. Eligible, you must pay a non-refundable $350 application fee for the SINP, but which is a last step of submission of application. So you don't have to pay right at front to start the application. Once you are done, once you fill the form and application, once you know that okay, I'm eligible to do that and I'm ready to go, then the last step will be you need to pay the $350 non-refundable application fee for the SINP. Qualify. If you live in Canada or if you live outside Canada, they are eligible to apply for the SINP. Second thing, those who are on refugee status already in Canada, they cannot apply for the SINP because they do have a different immigration plan, because they are in Canada on a different status. They are on refugee, so they cannot apply for the SINP. How much score do you need? You need only 60 score out of 100 to eligible for SINP. Then we will talk about language. You only need CLB4 for applying for SINP, but there are some employers who does need more score for more than CLB4. Talk about education criteria. Have completed post-secondary education, training or apprenticeship that's comparable to that in Canada, and you have earned a diploma or certificate or degree. So what about those who did a same kind of education or diploma or degree outside Canada? They can still apply under their educational credential assessment, that's called ECA. You can do that, and once you do that, you will get the standard of Canadian education, and then you can apply for the SINP. So those who have completed trades or job training as a part of their high school education must instead apply for Saskatchewan license to get the job. Those who needs the license, right? Have work experience that is high skill and not on the excluded occupation list, so which is very important. So those already in high demand occupation list, but there are some occupations where SINP don't need it at this moment, so they got excluded from their occupation list. So you need to have a look. There is a link in the description where you can go through with the whole procedure of SINP website, and you can find the excluded occupation list. So you have that high demand occupation, once you have the education, if you have everything in your hand, now what is next? So how much experience do you need? So you must have a minimum of 1 year of full time, that is equal to minimum 30 hours a week, a paid experience. Like you should work for somebody, or if you're working in the same field, whatever the education you did, you must have 30 hours of work experience every week, which should be paid, right? It should not be volunteer, or it should not be that somebody you know the whole thing, you have that same education, you're working with the same thing, but you are helping somebody. That doesn't count. Occupation will be NOCO, NOCA, and NOCB. So you can find that all the information in the same link, and please see the occupation in demand and express entry occupation requirements for more information. That also included in the link. So your work experience must be related to your occupation and education. That's the major important criteria. Your work experience must be related to your occupation and education. So, and then you may need to provide a proof of professional status or eligibility for your license. So if you're working as for example, as an engineer or a doctor or a pharmacist or any kind of engineer, right? You cannot come here because if you have education in your back, in your home country, you need to have a license that you have to give the licensee exam or license to get it here in Saskatchewan, to get an offer letter once you are here. So you need to have that thing in your mind that your work experience must be related to your occupation and education, and you need to see the requirements for status and license for the SINP. Must include all the required documents in your application. If you are missing any documentation, will result in your incomplete application and being returned. Your application fee will not be refunded. So you need to be really careful. You must include all the requirements documents in your application. Last but not the least, have a proof of settlement funds. So Canada needs to know, or any province needs to know, how much fund you have and if you are okay to settle down in Canada. So they need to have a settlement funds and settlement plan. Now we will talk about what is an international skilled worker expression of interest. So most of the videos they will say, okay, this is an SINP and you don't need this and it is really easy. No. So the thing is, an international skilled worker EOI expression of interest is not an application to the SINP. This is not an application to the SINP. An international skilled worker EOI is a pre-application process which allows candidates to fill out a form to indicate that their interest in applying to the SINP. So this is the pre-test or pre-step before applying for SINP, and then once you get the SINP, then you can apply for the further step, which is PR. So again, friends, don't believe in other YouTube channels where they are just saying this is a process for where you can apply for SINP. This is not the SINP process. This is an international skilled worker. EOI is a pre-application process which allows candidates to fill out form to indicate their interest in applying in the SINP. So for more information, you can find the link below. And not all candidates who submit an international skilled worker EOI will be invited to apply for the SINP. So let it be clear here, those who applied for this application and those who say, okay, now I have applied and I will get an SINP. No, not everybody. This is all the rights, all the decisions are made by SINP only, because this is not a SINP application. This is a pre-application to the SINP. So not all the candidates who submit an international skilled worker EOI will be invited to apply to the SINP. There are no limits yet. There are no limits on the number of candidates who can submit an EOI. So send as much you can and then wait for the results. Candidates can only have one EOI profile though. About who cannot apply through international skilled worker category, occupation in demand. So refugee, as I said before, refugee cannot apply for this program. And then if you may not eligible if any of the following situation is true. So first situation will be if you fail to submit documentation as required by SINP. Second, if you fail to show that your intent to live and work in Saskatchewan is genuine. Third, if you or your representative have not been truthful in the application. So these are the three, you can refuse your application on these three things. If you fail to submit a documentation as requested by SINP, if you fail to show your intent or live or work in Saskatchewan is genuine, and if you are fail and your representative have not been truthful in the application. So these are the three criteria. You need to be really careful about it. So assessment rating, as I said, you need only 60 points out of 100 to be eligible and to apply for this SINP pre-SINP application. So but once you have the 60 minimum points, but how about if you can get more points, and how you can get that? So you are awarded points on the basis of 5 factors. So first factor is education and training, second factor is skilled worker experience, third factor language ability. So I must recommend you to study hard, get the good marks, good bands in IELTS, and once you have that language ability, your score will be higher compared to other people. Fourth factor will be age. Fifth factor will be connection to the Saskatchewan. So like, I mean to say, if you did web designing or computer engineer or information technology courses, and your job market is really high in demand in Saskatchewan, then they know that you're going to stay here. So they wanted to know why you're going to stay here in Saskatchewan, and they should know that, okay, if I'm going to give him a chance to live in Saskatchewan, and if they are going to give you an SINP, your intent should be really truthful that you're going to stay in Saskatchewan. Applying for this pre-SINP procedure, you must attach a document to support the eligibility criteria and points factor. For example, if you claim 20 points for having a university degree, you must attach a copy of your university degree and complete the transcripts. If your degree is printed in a different language other than English or French, you must also attach a translated version. Now, how to apply? So after you receive an invitation to apply through the expression of interest system, so once you're done and you get the notification that you need to go further, and then you need to apply for the following things. The guidelines for the application process: complete, scan and submit all your required documents, and refer to the SINP important words and definition to understand what is needed. So friends, my experience says I did my every documentation, whatever the Canada needs, I did it by myself. So whenever I have a question, I used to refer my friends, or I used to ask, like, you can just right click whatever the question is there, whatever the answer you need to, or whatever the documents you needed. Everything is mentioned beside that. And I always recommend you, before starting applying for any process, for the immigration process, you need to print out 3 to 4 copies of checklist. Go with that checklist. You have all the requirements, whatever you needed, and you will go with the sequence wise. So you are not going to miss any single documents, because if you miss any single documents, that will cost you. That will cost the process, duration of process, and the money. So please, this is my strong recommendation. Always print out checklist for any kind of immigration process, so you know where you are, what we need, and you can grab all the documents in the same sequence wise. So we need to make it easy for the immigration officer too. For applying online to the SINP, we need to apply it online. You can hire a representative. Also, hiring a representative or a consultant or anybody, you need to see if he is authorized to IRCC. You always need to ask that question to your consultant. Are you authorized? Do you have any number or reference number of IRCC? Right? So apply online to the SINP. What we need? We only need 4 things. Create an account, complete the different sections, scan and upload your completed forms and supporting documents in PDF format, keep the originals for your records, and fourth and final, save and submit your application. In between the application process, you can always stop, take a pause in between, and you can restart the application where you left the application. So you don't have to worry about that, okay, I need to complete the application in 1 day, or like once you have that application form open. No, nothing like that. You just need to go with the sequence, you need to apply. Last recommendation is, before you're applying anything, always go through with the website. They have mentioned everything, whatever you need to apply, so you're not going to miss anything, and that link is in my description. So go with that link and try to learn whatever you want to. And if you have any questions, or if you wanted to know anything more about it, comment in the comment box for me, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, guys. and stay tuned to Reliable Immigration Guide. Do not forget for subscribing and sharing the video, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you very much.